Dry. Nice. Good for you guys.
Dalen, all set? All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us at tonight's post-match press conference. Before we begin, a quick note that tonight's sold-out attendance of 20,738 is the 63rd consecutive MLS home sellout for Austin FC, extending the league's longest active streak. Before we go to media questions, Josh, we will start with your thoughts on the match.
Yeah, I think I think that's the first place to start. It's a Wednesday night, and the weather is as it is, and our fans pack the house again. And the entrance they give the guys, the emotion they give us in the beginning of the game, and again, I think you see it with the quality. The first 25 minutes is solid. It's there's good organization, good movement, good possession. Can be a little more dangerous in the attacking third, but you have to keep that team at bay. They're the best team in the league. They have been for a long time, and unfortunately, we weren't able to hold on. It's a grind. It's difficult. I think certainly as the game went on, we could have been better with the ball and been more about the ball, but they put you under pressure. I think this is why they haven't lost in 8 or have won 8 straight. And we had them at the very end there, and that was their first shot on target in the 93rd, 4th minute, whatever that was. But the guys put up a heck of a fight, and we just weren't able to get it over the finish line. But commitment, great. Again, I think the guys' willingness was awesome, as it has been all season. So,
Thanks, Josh. We'll go now to media questions. Phil, go ahead and start us off.
Yeah, so you were just a few minutes away from stopping a scoring streak for LAFC, which is now 14 matches. So just thoughts on the defensive job, and the strategy in particular just seemed like you guys stayed home a lot at the second half.
Well, I think it's I think you got to know who they are. Obviously, possession-wise, they're not too concerned about having possession, but their ability to turn nothing into something is impressive. The front three with and they added in Kai, but Bouanga is as dangerous as they get in the league. There's a reason he's the best player in the league, or one of the best attacking players in the league. Bogusz has quality. Tillman has quality. Atuesta quality. Ili, these guys are all fantastic. Bringing in Kai, so it takes a group effort, a collective effort. Again, I think we can be better with the ball as well. That will take a little bit of the life out of them. But our guys, you could see the fatigue setting in, and they start pinning you back just because they have qualities that can hurt you. And I think. You could see us finding moments in the first half where it was quite good, and then as it goes on, it just becomes taxing and difficult to deal with. But it would have been nice to get it over the line, as you said. They've won 8 straight, and again, Brad didn't make a save on the night, and obviously it's the first shot on target. That's disappointing, but you got to hang in there against teams like this. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, and then Oberon obviously has a nice move for the goal. It's the first open play goal in 424 minutes, but still just 3 shots on the night. So what's ailing the offense still?
No, I think Obi's done a great job. I think we need more firepower. I don't think there's any denying when you look at what that team has and what we have. There's a significant difference, and we understand that, and we know that, and that's a lot of appreciation to our ownership, Anthony and all those guys for going out and now adding some pieces. We know we have to improve in that end of the field, both from a talent standpoint and a depth standpoint, and that's a big part of what's going on. But the guys hung in there, and we created some decent looks in the first half. We know you're not gonna overwhelm LAFC. They can defend. They got big boys. They don't give up a lot of chances. They don't give up a lot of goals. So when you get your opportunities, it's important to make those count. And we've ran this race against them a number of times, and games can look like that. There's no doubt about it. But you can also create your opportunities and situations that you like, and we did that in the first 30, 40 minutes much better than we did the last 60 minutes. So that becomes part of the lesson that we'll take from it.
Colby?
Just bringing in a third center back in the final 10 minutes or so. Just I take us through the thought process on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kai Kamara's in the game. They have a lot of guys in the box. We've been pinned back. The entire second half we're pinned in. They got guys all over the place along our back line. So Matt Hedges is 6'4". He's him, Leo, and Brendan now are 3 natural center backs. The crosses are coming at a rapid rate, regardless of what the structure in the end of the games is challenging. There's, it gets a little bit chaotic. You can see, they're throwing balls from everywhere, and by and large, the guys dealt with it pretty well. The corner kick's unfortunate. Johnny challenges on one side, and he's the guy that needs to go out on the other side, and there's no body there. And then, Kai is Kai. He's been in this league 15 years, and he's been doing that for a long, long time. So it's unfortunate, it's disappointing, but getting the extra center back in there helped us deal with the large volume of crosses. And I thought actually Brendan and Leo and Matty did a really, really good job with it.
Yeah, and just, I guess, kind of already addressed about their goal. Just like we were talking, just kind of tip your hat to Kamara because I mean, he scores headers.
It's hard. It's again, they didn't get anything on goal. They threw in a lot of crosses, and we won most of those first contacts in the box. We knew that was coming. We'd seen them, late in games, what it looks like. They haven't been down very often lately, so they put you under a lot of pressure. They're the best team in the league. They've won championships, and they have the weaponry across the front is quite impressive. So our guys hung in there and dug in. I think that's we'll take a little bit of solace in that. We weren't able to keep it as a 0, but it's a challenging group to go against, and we had the opportunity to close it out, and we just weren't able to.
Eric?
Yeah, Coach Obrian, starting on the left tonight, is there anything different that he offers on that side versus his usual position on the right?
No, I think he's played there for us a few times. I think you keep him close to Seba. Seba's able to bring him into the games. He draws attention. He's able to deliver balls behind the line. Obi's, the difference is he's a vertical player, so it's not like he's a 1v1 guy. He's a runner and a arriver. He runs behind the line well, so when he's on the right side, he's on his dominant foot when you do get him away from the line, and when he's on the left side, he's dipping inside. So there are some pros and cons to both sides of it. He's a little bit more capable of dribbling in inside, as you saw, and then when he is on the right, as Ethan typically is as well, they are more vertical to get in line and get behind the line and utilize their dominant foot to put balls in front of goal. But we know Obi's going to play that position, and Bakari will come, and we can move Obi to that side. So these are things that he's certainly capable of. He did it in Dallas as well. So he's capable on either side.
Great, thank you. And then Bouanga, relatively quiet night for him. What was the key to keeping him in check?
Again, I think the first half, it's about keeping the ball and moving them, trying to stress them, and even playing behind him a lot. I think that was a big part of it. We switched the point of attack a lot, and we got in behind him. And as we do that, we need to shift and give cover so that if we do lose a ball, typically Alex would be in a spot to help prevent and battle with him. So we did a real nice job of that in the first 35 minutes. And Johnny has his hands full. It's one of the more dangerous guys on the field, and you have to be aware of him. You have to get help at times, and you can see open space. We can't live in that space with the guys like that or some of the guys that they have. So when we reduced space and made it difficult, it was pretty good. I think we built pressure at times where they had to play long often, but the later it got, the more challenging it gets because you're a little fatigued and you're maybe not able to get out and get up and keep the ball as much. But he's a heck of a player. I mean, there's a reason he's MVP, and he's helped them win many, many games.
Jorge?
Josh, I see a team very focused today with a lot of character and straight. What is the difference between a game and a game? Because we have a lot of difference from Saturday to today. How do you work on that to keep it like today for next game?
Well, we got to see. Hopefully, these guys. You're saying for the next game?
Yes.
Yeah, it's important to see how these guys can recover. But it's again, there's a mentality and a personality and a spirit inside the group that's quite good. There was some of that lacking in Colorado, and we addressed that in the meetings this week, and we talked candidly about it, certainly with our front four and their ability to not really defend the way that we need to defend. We have to have complete performances from everyone to be able to compete with every team in this league, and or with any team in this league. So when we go a little absent in certain areas on the field, it'll be challenging for us. But tonight the guys competed extremely hard. Our front 3 or 4 did a good job. We're responsible both with and without the ball. And again, I think what we'll take from it is it's a good start, and we have the ability to do more as the game goes on. And the ball is still something we have to utilize a bit more in those moments. Even as we tire, we can do a better job. But the spirit of the group has been quite good. The character inside the group has been solid. They've grinded, and we got to keep our head up and keep moving forward and just keep trying to improve. And like I said, the playoffs are our objective, so we got to keep. Whether we're above it or below it, we got to stay in touch with it and know that we're going to get some reinforcements in a few weeks, few months, or a couple months.
And Seba's substitution was just technical.
He was just dead. You could tell he was dead before that. I think if I look back on it, maybe I even bring him earlier because he's fatigued. He's not able to get out and press. He's our best player. You don't want to pull him off the field ever, but we know we're getting pinned in. We're not getting out on the break very often anyway, but. He was fine. They used a concussion sub, so it allowed us to have another sub. So we utilized that to our advantage. And again, we almost got out on the break and grabbed a goal, which would have been nice. It's always good to introduce some of our younger players. CJ's getting minutes, and he's continuing to improve. I thought again some limited minutes, but he did all right.
What'd you see out of Finley tonight? If it kind of looked like this was his best performance of the year.
Yeah, it's been a tough probably month for him, month and a half. He's had a little bit of an injury, and it subsides, and it comes back, and it's a little bit grabby for him. But yeah, I think for him, he he knows what the league is about. He knows how the season is a grind, and he talks in front of the group about recalibrating and obviously refocusing. And he's an honest player. I've known him for a long time. And when he gets his opportunity, he's hungry and eager to go and perform. And I think that's right. I think it was one of his better performances this year. We need more of that from him. We've been light at winger, so that's it's a positive to see him give some good contributions, and obviously we can hopefully build on that.
Phil?
So unless we were wrong in the press box, Valencia yellow card accumulation then, so he would be out Saturday, looks like.
Probably.
So what
Probably.
what do you do? I mean, obviously Ramirez has 2 call-ups, 1 appearance left, but all of a sudden, with Pereira out as well, midfield depth becomes even more of a concern.
Yeah, no, that's why Alonso's here. I mean, Alonso is a kid that we've seen him now for 2 years nearly, and he's played at Atlas. He grew up in Atlas. He's a 22, 23-year-old, and he may or may not see minutes going forward, but he's played as a 6, obviously with Brett in the 2s, and he's come in and done a little bit of the 6 and the 10 for us. So Owen will obviously slide in as a center mid. That's his natural position. So I would expect Alex and Owen to be in there. We'll see how everybody is, and Alonso will give us some depth there, but we'll have some physical issues around the field. We got to see who's up for it, who's fresh, and I think we got Diego out in a decent time that maybe he can be used again. Biro and Johnny put in a big shift, so we'll have to see. But those are things that we'll see in the next 48 hours.
So if you shift Owen, then you have to worry about winger depth too. Then
exactly, you got it, Phil. The puzzle is thin. The puzzle is thin and maybe missing some pieces, but the guys keep competing. Again, we can compete with the very best. I mean, our guys can still get the job done, and certain games and certain nights it's going to look different than others. But that's the thing I think we're all most proud of. They know how thin we are and how light we've been, but we remain extremely invigorated about continue to improve and give ourselves chances in games to win. And we'll do it again against Minnesota. It's another good team on the road. It's challenging. We got to give ourselves a better chance than we did the last couple games on the road from a mentality standpoint, emotional standpoint. But this is again our 3rd time with 3 games in a week, and international duty and all that for guys, for all teams, becomes challenging. But when you're short on numbers to begin with, and then international hits you, we are light. And as you said, it's either center mid or winger, and it's both in this case.
Anything else for Josh? All right. Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everybody.